Don't be afraid for what's to come.
Good morning, lads. It is January 12th today, and I needed to get out and touch some grass, and I had something that I wanted to talk about. So, today's topic is the fear of being ordinary. This is something that I could talk about for a very long time, but I only have about 15 minutes, so we're gonna try and see what I can do in that time. Also, working on, I need to get a mic. I'm gonna get that soon, because just having the phone audio is pretty ass. Anyways, so the fear of being ordinary is something that I have kind of just been trying to wrap my head around for a really long time. I think there's a lot of people that, you know, I see in my life who don't really want more for themselves. You know, they're pretty content with where they're at, and they don't really strive for greatness, I guess. And I mean, that looks differently to different people, right? But I don't know. I really want to be remembered for something. I think maybe that's why I'm doing these, you know, one of the reasons. But I just feel like waking up at 9 a.m., going to the 9 to 5, and doing that for 40 years feels like a waste of time. We only have one life, and I feel like you have to make the best of what you have. And I think a lot of people don't look at it that way. They think that they have plenty of time, like it's never gonna end, and it can feel like that sometimes, but I think that's a very slippery slope that people can go down, is just thinking that they have all the time in the world, when really we are living on borrowed time. Tomorrow is not promised. You could just not wake up tomorrow, you know? And that's not something that I want to be regretful of, my life and just potentially not having a tomorrow. I think that there's something greater, you know, something I feel like I'm meant for something greater, you know. I don't feel like I'm meant to be in the same boat as a lot of these people. I don't know why that is. I don't know, maybe I don't know if I was born like that or it's something I learned over time, but I tell you what I have learned is that I cannot be complacent with where I am. Like if I passed tomorrow, I feel like I would not be happy with what I've done. I want to be able to leave like an impact on people, an impact on the earth, you know. And it's crazy, the actual, like, the sample size of people that you meet, and I don't mean like, you know, with including online, I don't really count that, but like the amount of people that you interact with in a day-to-day basis, and you see and you talk to and you say hello to, is like so minuscule comparatively to the amount of people on the planet, you know. And I feel like, you know, doing this is one of the ways, you know, I can reach more people. I can't really grasp why people are just okay with doing less, or okay with being less than. And that's not to say that they're not important or they don't, you know, contribute, because there's a lot of people that contribute to society, you know, and they work a 9 to 5, they work blue collar, and it's like, that's their life. And if we didn't have people like that, it would be a very rough world to live in, I think. I feel like with the amount of time that you are given on the planet, being so potentially finite, living on that borrowed time, it's just important to live it the best way that you can, you know. And that's gonna look different for everybody, right? That looks different for me, that looks different for, you know, random Joe Schmoes walking down the street. But whatever you do, you just gotta put your best foot forward and do it at 100%, you know, whatever that looks like. And I know it's hard for people. A lot of people feel lost, like they don't know what to do, or how to do it. And I've been in those situations. And I think the best thing you can really do is just follow what speaks to you. Just really critically look at your life, reflect, and be like, what makes me happy, you know? And whatever that is, just follow it and just keep doing it at 100%. Unless it's something really awful, then that's, you know, get into some gray area there. But a few weeks ago, I was having a conversation with my buddies. We went to a bar and we were just hanging out, and I asked all of them what their biggest fears were. You know, some of them had a variety of answers, right? It was like, I think thalassophobia is one of them. That's like the fear of like large bodies of water, which I totally get. That's a big one. There was another one of like fearing dying with like regret, and just dying in general, feeling like you didn't do anything with your life. And that was the big one, I think, that spoke to me the most. Dying feeling like you didn't do anything with your life. I feel like I'm right there right now. Like if I died, I feel like I wouldn't have done anything yet with my life, and that's kind of scary. And I think that's why I'm really trying to put a good foot forward this year and just like do all the things that I want to do. I don't think I'm necessarily afraid of death, because it happens to everybody, right? Literally, there's not one person on this planet that doesn't have it. But we're very lucky to be living at the time that we're living right now. If you really think about the chances of being born today versus being born 30 years ago, 50 years ago, 100, 200, 1,000 years ago, I don't know, however long, you really start to understand, like, wow, we're very blessed and fortunate to be living now. Because I tell you what, it was not better back in the day, I don't think. In current time, we are the most advanced, the most forward in like every aspect pretty much of life. I feel like I have an almost unrealistic expectation for myself in having that fear of being ordinary, or, you know, being less than, being or dying just like a normal person. I think it's sometimes can be unrealistic. Very hard on myself with a lot of things. I try and just be the very best that I can be, which I think makes me pretty decent. But yeah, I think it's unrealistic sometimes, and I think I hurt myself. And that's something that I need to work on. You know, you need to count your wins when you get them, and you need to acknowledge when you are just doing good things, you know, whether it's for yourself or for other people. I want to be at a point, right? I want to be at a good point where I'm like, I'm happy, you know. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm on the path, right? I can see it. I can see the future, you know. I just need more time, and that's why time is so important. It's the one thing you don't get back. You can never get time back. I think that's just something to think about. This might be kind of a mess of a video, kind of jumbled around, but we'll make it work. Still learning. I might need to start writing scripts, or just put like some bullet points of shit that I want to talk about. I think I'm gonna start doing that. I think it'll be easier that way. But anyways, thanks for watching. Adios.